Hey guys, Sneaky Snake here, Brothers in Arms, World of Warships, and today's video we're going to take a look at a replay that I had in the Alabama, the Tier 8 Premium American Battleship. I'm divisioned up with my buddy Puddin. He's playing in the Charles Martel, the Tier 8 French Heavy Cruiser, and we're playing some standard battle here on the map Estuary. For my captain skills, I run Direction Center for Catapult Fighter, Expert Marksman, Superintendent, Basics of Survivability, Advanced Firing Training, and Concealment Expert. And for my equipment, I'm running Main Armaments Modification 1, AA Guns Modification 2, Damage Control Mod 1 and 2, and Concealment Systems Modification 1. So the Alabama here in World of Warships, how exactly do you get the most out of this South Dakota-class Premium Tier 8 American Battleship? And also, how does it compare to the North Carolina-class Unpremium Tier 8 American Battleship? Well, both ships are very similar, somewhat in appearance and more so in their actual performance in-game. They both carry the same armament of 16-inch guns, they both have incredibly good AA suites for their tier. They both have reasonable armor, they both have very good concealment with a full concealment build, and they're also pretty maneuverable. However, it's just the minor details that distinguish these two ships from each other, but the Alabama does have enough of its own character to it to have a very slightly different playstyle, but nonetheless, you're still going to be able to have very good games like this one that you're about to see. So the main difference is the Sigma value of the guns. The North Carolina has a 2.0 Sigma. The higher the number, the better. To put that into perspective, the Yamato, the most accurate battleship, at least Sigma-wise in the game, is at 2.1. So the North Cal is able to throw shells at extreme range with very, very good accuracy. The Alabama, well, it's either 1.8 or 1.9. To be honest with you, I've seen both numbers pop up on World of Warships forums, on Reddit, on naval history threads, so I honestly don't know which one it is exactly. I've seen more 1.8, but it could be 1.9. So if any of you guys watching this video know, please let me know. Another difference is that the Alabama has slightly more short-range AA, and it has slightly fewer mid-range AA, but to be honest, it doesn't really affect it too much. The North Cal, just by a margin, has a better AA, but it's an American battleship at the high tier. You're going to expect to have very good AA, and you're going to see here right at the beginning of the game, my anti-aircraft guns are going to be able to take care of these planes that are flying over to this part of the map. Another thing about the Alabama that distinguishes itself is the very nice torpedo belt that this thing has. It's over 50% torpedo protection, which reduces the damage, of course, by over 50% when you get hit by a torpedo. In contrast, the North Carolina is somewhere around 24%. So you get twice the torpedo protection, at least if you get hit along the torpedo belt in this thing, and it allows you to soak up an extra torpedo or two over the North Carolina. So I guess, in theory, giving you more hit points to work with. But the armor belt is also below the citadel is below the waterline, and the armor belt is pretty good on this ship as well. It's a very compact ship. It's even shorter than the North Carolina, so when you are angled in, this thing is a very difficult nut to crack, especially bow on. However, the rear citadel athwartship is very weak indeed, so if this thing turns away from you, battleship and even at point-blank range, high-tier cruiser caliber guns can absolutely wreck this thing from the rear end. Another thing about the ship that is similar to the North Carolina is that it has exceptional concealment. You can get it down to 12.2 if you run the full concealment build like I do, and it allows you to get the jump on a lot of the battleships that you'll face here at the higher tiers, which is very, very nice. So now we're going to get into the gameplay here. I'm already up to 18,000 points of damage with 6 planes shot down, which is pretty good. And you can see that I continue to pop in and out of concealment. Obviously, the Akatsuki dropped his smoke screen over there, but that Bismarck is only 12.1 kilometers away, and I would almost be undetected if he were not. So that's awesome. And I also managed with that salvo to take care of the Fuso and secure my first blood medal for the game. About 20,000 points of damage, so a very nice start. And you saw there at range, however, that the 3 salvos that I did shoot at the Fuso, they weren't the most accurate, and again, that has to do with the Sigma value. If it was a North Carolina shooting at that range, I probably would have landed a couple more shells on target. So now I'm looking for a shot here at the Otago, and I decide I'm going to switch to the Bismarck. It appears that he's backing up, or at the very least creeping forward very, very slowly. And you can also see that he's angled in almost perfectly at me. But these 16-inch guns that you find on the Alabama and North Carolina really don't care about the angling. I do over 7,000 points of damage, which is a very fine salvo, especially, again, considering that that ship was angled in almost perfectly at me. And that's the best part about these 16-inch guns. They're so slow traveling through the air, but they just punch into whatever you're shooting at and are able to get citadels and do massive pen damage at ludicrous angles. You can see here that I'm shooting at a Pensacola now at 12 kilometers. Obviously, the Pensacola isn't known for having the best protection, but he is angled about perfectly, and it really does not matter. 17,000 points of damage with a citadel and 3 overpens. Something tells me a Tirpitz or a Bismarck with their lighter 15-inch shells might not have been able to punch through the forward part of the ship like I was able to right there. And again, that's why I just love the guns on these things. It's so satisfying to be able to punish ships. But once again, you're going to see here a little bit of the inaccuracy. And again, the Sigma value on these guns sometimes not coming into play. A lot of the shells land well short of the Scharnhorst, and I only managed to get 2 over penetrations. But you can see there that the side armor working pretty good, at least from the first 2 guns that got shot at me. I was able to bounce most of them. Up to 46,000 points of damage, and the score is 434 to 319. The enemy team has lost 2 battle wagons compared to our 1 cruiser, so we're looking pretty good right now at the moment. Our push along the eastern side of the map is continuing pretty nicely, and at this point I decide I'm going to continue my turn to the left, and I'm going to go straight for the enemy's base. Another very unfortunate salvo right there. 2 more overpens for another 2,620 damage done. I can't believe that Scharnhorst has gotten that lucky, especially at this range. And I suppose the slight difference between this and the North Carolina is you need to get a little bit closer in the Alabama to be able to disregard the disadvantage that you have with the worst Sigma value. And while the North Carolina is a very potent mid to long range ship, the Alabama really is a much better mid to short range ship. Again, because of the Torpedo Belt. And, of course, the worst Sigma on the guns requiring you to get a little bit closer. But by no means do these feel like German accurate guns like the Tirpitz or the Friedrich de Grosse, for instance. Continue on my push over here. 57,000 points of damage. Pretty good game going so far. We're going to continue to keep moving. Looking for one more salvo against the Scharnhorst before I decide to switch my attention to the cruisers that are off in front of me. You can see the Edinburgh at 10 kilometers away, probably dropping torpedoes as he is getting the heck out of there. Another 2,620 damage done with 2 more overpens. Yeah, that's Scharnhorst, a very, very lucky guy to only take pretty minimal damage from all those salvos. Let's see if I can make his teammates pay for the error of his ways by staying broadside to me. Looking for a shot here at the Otago. He is healing up, so I'm looking for a pretty good shot here. Unfortunately, the Akatsuki got a little bit too ambitious and strayed well too close to all those ships. Get the A and B turret out, followed by the Y turret. Shells are falling in. The Otago takes 1 penetration from the front guns and then gets taken out by the rear turret. I kill that Tier 8 premium Japanese heavy cruiser. I'm up to 68,000 points of damage and have secured my 2nd kill of the game. So very good stuff, as I like to say. Looking for shots here on the Edinburgh. Unfortunately, it appears he's going to be able to get behind the island. Yes, he will. So I'm not going to be able to get the shot off in time. I will be putting Adrenaline Rush on this ship. This is my Montana captain. So I will be putting Adrenaline Rush because the 30-second reload in now this new meta of almost every ship having Adrenaline Rush, it seems, it just feels very, very slow. And obviously back in the day, a 30-second reload was just fine. But, you can get that to a very, very nice reload once you start taking damage. Now you can see here once the Pensacola starts to turn away a little bit, I go undetected. 12.2 kilometers away, like I said, with the concealment build, and I'm able to stay undetected. Obviously, it was only for a few seconds, but it's really, really nice. Getting some shots here now at the New Mexico. He isn't showing a full broadside, but he is angled slightly, and my shells just don't care. 13,000 points of damage and change done. 3 penetrating hits and 1 overpen. Just wonderful damage on ships if you know how to aim and if RNG tosses you a bone, especially in this thing. And I'm up to 82,000 points of damage, and most of the shells, most of the salvos that I've fired have been properly aimed, and the results are certainly fruitful for sure. Get the forward guns going at the New Mexico. The shell's fallen on the target. 3 overpens and 1 pen for 8,200 points of damage. And in 2 salvos, I've done well over 20,000 points of damage to that guy, and he hasn't been able to reply back to me in return. The Pensacola is continuing to shoot. The reason why I'm angled toward this island right now, as you saw those torpedoes go past, was I'm wondering where this Edinburgh got off to. Now, I don't see any smoke screen, so he hasn't decided to smoke up just slightly off my bow on the starboard side. But I'm definitely worried about more torpedoes coming in from that guy, so that's why I've been ever so slightly moving left and right. Another 8,600 point damaging salvo with 4 penetrating hits on the New Mexico. A very nice salvo right there. I'm almost at 100,000 points of damage. but there is still plenty more that needs to be done. The enemy team at this point has lost 4 ships compared to our 3, and it's 481 to 371. So we have just over a 100-point lead. There we go. The Edinburgh appears just slightly for a split second over there. So now that I know that he's over there, I'm going to turn a little bit more to my port side, get all my guns to shoot at New Mexico, who is angled away pretty nicely. However, he is going to start to turn broadside. Will I get some citadels? No, sir, but 16,900 points of damage with 4 pens and 3 overpens, 7 of the 9 shells landing on target. That was about the best kind of salvo you're going to see from this thing, and I'm able to tank his entire return salvo off the turrets and the front part of the ship. So yeah, that was a pretty good trade, I'd have to say. New Mexico is now only on 4,100 hit points, and I'm getting ready for the coup de grace right here. The shells are out, and I'm going to turn my attention over to the cruisers that are over there. I look over really quickly, manage to take out that Tier 6 American battleship for my 3rd kill of the game. I'm up to about 120,000 points of damage, and the push will continue through the enemy's base. You can see that the Ranger was spotted some time ago on the border of B5 and 6 heading to the west, so I'm going to continue to try, and hey, why not go damage for him, right? I'm now trying to look for a blind shot into the smoke here against the Edinburgh, but I do go undetected as the Pensacola did manage to get behind that smoke screen. So now I'm going to switch my fire here to the Pensacola, get the full broadside out. Unfortunately, right as I shoot, he manages to turn in, but I think the Sigma helps me out right here as I zoom back in. One shell penetrates and gets the Citadel right underneath the A turret, picking up my 4th kill of the game on that Tier 7 American heavy cruiser. So yeah, I guess the Sigma did throw me a bone right there. Hey, RNG will give it to you every now and then. I do go undetected yet again. The Graf Spee, as torpedoes move off to my port side, once again from the Edinburgh, he's at 14.2 kilometers, and there are planes coming in on my position. So I'm looking for a shot right here, but I do go undetected yet again. And I'm actually going to switch my focus here to the Edinburgh with the front turrets. Once more detected by aircraft. I'm looking through the smoke. I zoom out just a little bit, looking for the next volley that he's going to shoot. Continuing to be patient. There we go. He does shoot at me. So now that I know that I have his full and undivided attention, his secondaries are also going off. So I'm getting ready here to take a look where the next shells are coming from. There we go. Managed to pop off a shot blind into the smoke. Unfortunately, only 3 overpens. I do not manage to land a Citadel, but I do pick up the Confederate and go over 130,000 points of damage, and I was able to do a very healthy chunk out of whatever remained of that Edinburgh's hit points. So unfortunately, no Citadel, and if I would have had one, I would have been able to outright nuke that guy with a nice blind shot. But nonetheless, I'm now turning my attention here to the Graf Spee. He probably thinks he's angled decently enough against me. He does have a couple shells hit the bow of my ship that are able to overmatch it and go right on through. Now I'm waiting for my rear turret to get reloaded here against the Tier 6 Premium German heavy cruiser, battle cruiser, I guess. Shells flying in. He's not full broadside, and it just does not matter. 24,000 points of damage with 1 Citadel. That guy's hit points getting absolutely eradicated. He is getting his heal back up. But I will be looking for the coup de grace here. Once more, another shell that goes right through the bow. I was worried about his torpedoes, and then I realized that he'd already launched them against the Bismarck, so I'm looking for the finishing touches right here, but it doesn't appear that I'm going to be able to get it. No, sir. The Fuso manages to take out that guy. So now at this point, there's only the Edinburgh and the Ranger left. I know that the Ranger is over here. You can see now he was last spotted in C1, heading right over towards the end part of the map. And once this Edinburgh dies, there's still going to be enough time, and there's still going to be enough points left that I'm going to be able to get some shots against the carrier. He did manage to get a very nice double tap worth of kills over there right before he kicked the bucket. 157,000 points of damage. The push continues. I have ran out of heals, but that is okay. I still have just less than half of my remaining hit points left. My buddy Puddin was saying, hey man, once this guy gets spotted, let me farm a little bit of damage off him and then go in for the kill to get your Kraken. So that's exactly what I'm going to do here. The Ranger is going to be getting detected any second now, and we'll be able to wrap up this game. So which have you seen in this game? Worse accuracy than the North Cal. However, if you're able to push in, you can just be an absolute brute. And also, again, the maneuverability is really, really good. So no torpedoes managed to touch me because this thing has excellent rudder shift and excellent turning radius. You can see the Ranger there at only 10.3 kilometers away. He's on full health. I'm waiting for him to go more or less broadside so that I'm going to be able to take care of this guy. The guns are reloaded. We're ready to go. Puddin is getting some shots downrange at him. It's funny because he mentioned about the Leander back there. Don't let the Leander steal the kill, so I really wanted to wait here until I got a very perfect shot. When you're shooting at a Ranger, FYI, you want to go right behind the conning tower and right for those trio of smokestacks on both the port and the starboard side of the ship. Shells falling in, and I only managed 32,000 points of damage, and then the Leander manages to take the kill, but still, what an excellent performance here in the Alabama. Alrighty guys, taking a look now at the post-battle results. 681,000 credits received and 7,281 total XP. I pick up Fireproof, First Blood, Confederate, Dreadnought, and High Caliber with that last salvo on the Ranger. 189,000 points of damage, and quite frankly could have been over 200k if I would have gotten a little better RNG on the Scharnhorst. Nonetheless, 5 Citadels off of 68 targets hit, 12 planes shot down, and 4 ships sent to the bottom of the sea. Taking a look at the team score, 2,367 base XP. A very solid performance here in the Alabama. We're also going to take a look here really quickly at the detailed report. All of the damage caused by the main battery armor-piercing shells. I also managed 1.6 million potential damage, and I was able to tank 92,000 points of damage in return, so a very nice job. And lastly, the credits, 535,000 with the premium, of course, and this is a premium ship, so a very healthy chunk of change. So with that being said, the Sneaky Snake here for Brothers in Arms World of Warships signing off. Please consider giving the video a like, commenting on it, or possibly subscribing to the channel. All of it is very much appreciated. And guys and gals, as always, have a great day.